I don't believe in ghosts. I believe in war, in history, in bloodlines. But then I arrived at the place where my ancestors spilled blood that still stains the soil today. My name is Lucien. I'm 28, French. I came to Vietnam alone, hoping for a quiet stay at a colonial-era wooden house. The host said no one had lived there since the war. I'd get to experience real Indochine history, he claimed. It sounded charming, until I saw the twisted carving glowing on the house's central beam. It looked freshly painted, with something red. Curiosity got the better of me. I found a thin copper plate nailed into the beam with 3 rusted spikes. I pried it loose. The moment it came off, I heard a crack from under the floorboards. That night I heard footsteps beneath the floor. The ceiling smelled like burnt flesh. I barely slept. In my dream, flames crawled up my arms like they were alive. In a hidden drawer tied with old copper wire, I found a journal, some photos, and a military map. In one picture, I saw a familiar face. It was my great-grandfather. The journal read, Captain Alphonse Dure, Lung River Camp, 1913. I turned the page. The villagers resisted. They gathered in their shrine. June 5th, ordered encirclement. Burned the entire structure. Estimated casualties, 73. Mostly women and children. The crying echoed for 3 nights after the fire. Soldiers began losing their minds. We sealed their spirits within. Peace has returned. No soul shall escape. None shall reincarnate. Then it hit me. I was standing on the very ground where that shrine once stood, where they were burned alive. The blackened mark on the wall. That's where they were chained. Since the night I removed that seal, I haven't seen myself in mirrors the same way. I don't feel hunger or thirst, but each morning I wake up weaker, like something is feeding on me, and faces, burned and silent, are pushing through the bedroom walls. I tried to run. I packed everything, but the forest twisted around me. I kept ending up back at the house, and it wasn't the path I came in on. I burned the journal, tore up the map. I even carved the ceiling mark into the beam again, using my own blood. Nothing worked. The house, it began to breathe. Boards swelled like lungs. Smoke poured from the floor, and then they grabbed me. Burned hands pulled me under. The last of the bloodline. Stay. The blood never apologized. The blood doesn't leave. I was never haunted. I was never a guest. I was always meant to stay. I was never the kind of person who believed in ghosts. At least, not until that day. I was cleaning out my grandfather's old house when I found a thin, worn notebook tucked under the floor mat in the dusty attic. No cover, just a few yellowed pages, but the handwriting inside, crooked, warped, it made my skin crawl. The first page told the story of a girl at Eloise Psychiatric Hospital in Michigan. They called her the Silvercomber. She was admitted for hearing whispers in her head. One day they found her dead, in her room on the 3rd floor. Her neck was soaked in blood. No signs of struggle, no weapon ever found. Since then, whoever tried to clean that room would hear it. Brushing. Slow. Rhythmic. Midnight. A video went viral once. Someone filmed themselves walking past the door, and in the mirror stood a woman with long hair. Only in the mirror, they say, if you hear brushing at midnight, never look in the mirror. The second story took me to Brazil, to a place once called Barbacena. Tens of thousands died there, and most were never even named. Medical students used to photograph corpses for research, but some of those photos, when developed, showed a figure standing behind the body. There's one story about the sealed morgue deep underground. They say, if you go down there, you might hear it. Laughter, software broken, not human. One intern saw a child facing the wall, holding a torn photo. He blinked, and its head turned around, all the way around. They say, if you die and no one knows your name, your soul doesn't know it either, so you stay and laugh in the dark. The last story, it's the one that kept me up for nights. It comes from Poland, from a fire in 1980 at the Gorna Grupa Psychiatric Hospital. Many patients didn't die from fire. They died from madness. They screamed. They clawed at their own faces. They said something was crawling under their skin. People believed the fire didn't just burn their bodies. It held onto their souls. They say, if you stand at the gate at 1:33 a.m. and call the dead by name, Alexei, 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 the gate will shake, and on the glass, you'll see a hand, burned, blackened, pressing through. I closed the notebook. The air in the room turned thick. The mirror behind me started to tremble. I turned around, and in the reflection, I saw them. The girl brushing her hair, the child staring at the wall, the burned hand sliding across the glass. But when I turned around, there was nothing. Only the smell of scorched hair still lingering. Laughter, faint and distant. And the mirror? It no longer reflected me. I don't know who wrote those stories. But I know one thing. Once you know about them, they already know about you. Leah arrives at the edge of a crumbling city. The street is empty. Broken windows stare down from above. She sets down her suitcase. Overhead, the ceiling is stained and cracked. The silence is unnatural. Leah lies awake. Her hand scratches unconsciously. The bedsheet moves as if something shifts beneath it. She stands in the empty room. The ceiling above bears fresh scratch marks carved from the inside. Barefoot, she runs through the woods. The trees twist unnaturally. Their limbs reach for her. Leah awakens. Something is lurking in the shadows, learning to whisper into her soul. In the mirror, Leah sees her own back. Fresh wounds line her spine. But when she turns, there's nothing. A red scratch marks the sheet. Leah lifts it. Underneath, pale larvae writhe in silence. It nests in her blood, sowing dreams with claws. The wall crack spreads into a pattern. Leah presses her hand against it. It pulses beneath her palm. On her phone, Leah watches herself sleep. A shadow crawls behind her. The screen glitches. Leah opens the fridge. A moldy slice of bread sits alone. The dark spot. In the center, shaped like an eye. It stares back. Leah knelt. She drew a symbol in blood on her shirt. 6 candles flickered around the bed. She wakes up again in the same room. The walls are slightly warped. The ceiling fan loops the same motion. The bugs now have human faces. One stares at Leah. It smiles, revealing perfect human teeth. In the mirror, Leah sees herself being scratched. She turns. No one is there. The mirror ripples like water.
Oh my god!
From the circle of fire, a creature rises, half insect, half human. Its body shatters and reforms. Leah wakes on the floor. Mud and shells stick to her skin. She holds a charred feather. Dust falls from her clothes. The bed shook. Leah was held tight. Scratches tore at her back. Lights flashed. The sound was piercing. A massive bug crawls out. Its eyes are unmistakably human. They blink slowly, following Leah's movement. Leah lay in a circle of dried blood. The bugs chanted, "Leah," in human voices, echoing. She is not the first to fall to this curse. Leah lies inside a sticky white cocoon. The surface rises and falls with her breath. A faint scratching sound echoes from the dark. Eyes snap open from within the cocoon. Human eyes, twitching, alert. Leah sits up. The room is clean, untouched. Cold light floods in. Nothing moves. A new girl steps into the room. Leah turns and smiles. Her eyes catch the light, and behind them, something shifts. The night has no end. It only waits forever.